Hello, everyone. It is 1 o'clock on Friday, and that means that it's time for my family, right? We at PRN want to be able to have conversations about family wellness and family recovery. So we'll spend, excuse me, the next few moments in conversation. I'm Aaron Wells, and we like to use this platform to talk about family, family recovery, and family wellness. We launched our first in a series. We're just running this through April, and we're just going to run it up the flagpole, see how it waves, see how it impacts, see what the viewership is, see what the interest is, and then build out from there. But every Friday through April at 1 p.m., we will be having conversations about my family. And so I just want to thank you so very, very much for joining and hanging in and being a part of the conversations. My family, right? We're talking about building wellness for the entire family. And here's the deal, right? For whatever or whoever family is for you. And we talked about some of those things last week, that family is not always that traditional mindset of that nuclear family, right? Mother and father and dad and 2.5 children and 1.5 dogs and 4 cats. And that's not always family. That's not always everyone's definition of family. It doesn't make it right or wrong. We're talking about what family is for us. And so we did some definitions last week. We'll recap some of that. But I think we have good conversation and some good things to build upon as we talk about family wellness, whatever family is for us, looking at that holistic wellness within the family, always building on those 8 dimensions of wellness, always looking at the 8 dimensions of wellness as a foundation, right? As a blueprint, as the tool to navigate our wellness. If you're coming on board and hanging out with me, just feel free to join in the chat. If you're coming on, please feel free to go to the Promise Resource Network Facebook page and like our page. Then that way you'll receive notifications of all of our classes and conversations. And we even have a couple of infomercials going on from United Healthcare and Oak Street Health. And so we're supporting community partners and as they support us. And so many good things going on in our virtual platform. We want you to be involved, be a part of it. So go to the Facebook page, like our Facebook page, so you can get the notifications about all of our classes and conversations that come on our platform. And go to our YouTube channel and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, and you're able to watch via either Facebook videos or on YouTube. We're trying to get 10,000 subscribers. That was our goal for April 1st. We fell short. And so we're digging in because that is the goal, and we are going to meet it some way, somehow. And we'll just keep asking people to, as you come on, you subscribe, and then tell your friends that there's some good stuff going on with the Promise Resource Network YouTube channel. The conversations and classes about wellness, about recovery, about healing, right? Both as individuals, as families, and as communities. Thank you so very much for hanging out. Today, I see I've got my buddy Roberta on. I got Kim Polder hanging out with me and my buddy Tara. So thank you, everybody. Make sure you're sharing. I'm glad that you're here, and we're going to have some good conversation today, I believe. So let's get it in. My family. We're talking about family wellness, family healing. So just let's flow, have some good conversation, talking about building wellness for the entire family. And again, whatever family is for you, everybody doesn't have the same definition of family, but there are some variables that I want to talk about that set the tone for all conversations over the month of April as we talk about talk about family wellness. Last week, we talked about the power of family, right? We talked about the power of family. And I want to say it yet again, regardless of what your definition of family is. And that's your definition. That's your definition. You have a right to have that definition. You get to build these things. We've held on to some things that truly are not applicable to us, but from tradition and from nurturing, from a society perspective, we've held on to these things and been told that this is us, that this is the way it's supposed to be. And no, we have the right to define that which fits us, that which really speaks for us, right? And so family doesn't necessarily carry the same definition, but what family does do, right? Family does have some of the same traits and variables, regardless of the definition. And one is this: the power of family. All families have power connected. All families have power connected, right? There is a strength in family. I'll say it again. And that doesn't matter what your definition of family is. There is a power that comes to family. There is a strength that comes to family. And so what we want to be able to do is talk about that, and build out the things that we're talking about, to build out the things that we're talking about concerning family, the power of family. Here we go. Tell me, I want to make sure we're all set up. Ready? The power of family, threefold. How many fold? Threefold. It is the care that we have for one another, whoever our family is. I'll keep reiterating that. Whoever our family is, it's the care that we have for our family. Then the second part of that is the concern, is the care, and then the concern that we have for our family, how we take care of each other, right? The care, and this is why it's important to feel good about me, so I can truly care for you, right? I got to care about me so I can care about you. I have to care for me so I can care for you. And this is why self-care is so important. With self-care, I get to practice on me what I'll be able to do for you, right? I'll be able to practice on me what I'll be able to do for you. And then the power of family is the concern that we have for each other, right? That I'm wondering how you're doing. I'm wondering how you're feeling. I have this concern for you. And so when we talk about the power of family, we're talking about the care we have for one another, the concern we have for one another, and then the love we have for one another. It doesn't have to be people who look like me. That's my family. It doesn't have to be people who talk like me or be where I'm from or have the same parents. Great if that is family, right? For me, it is. But there's such a larger definition for Aaron for family because I have so many families. My family is a family of families. And so for me, it's the care that I have for those people I call family. It's hard for me to call them family and not care about them. It's hard for me to call them family and not having concern. It's hard for me to call them family and not express the love that I have for them. Everybody flowing with me so far. And so as we're doing that, we understand that there's a power of family. And as we shared last week, there is a essence of family. There is a essence of family. There's a power of family. There's an essence of family. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in just a second. And so I'm just looking to see who's coming on board. I got my squad hanging in there, and let's keep chopping it up. So the essence of family looks like this, right? The essence, what it is comprised of, the composite of, right? What it's built of, right? We have the power of the family. That's what moves us. And then we have the essence of family. That's who we are collectively. Family. When you talk about the essence of family, you're talking about the people that see you. The people that see you. Right? Well, everybody sees me. Not everybody. Now, they may, watch this, right? They may see you in such a way that you are in their vision, right? You're in their sight, but they don't really see you. They don't see when you're sad. They don't see what makes you happy. They don't see the things that motivate you. And that doesn't necessarily mean that that you're important to them, right? It's not like a crowded elevator and we get to see those people, but do we really see them? Do we really see inside of them? Do we see their thoughts? Do we hear their words? Do we grab hold of the nutrients of their lives? The essence of family first begins with this. Your family are people who see you, that you're important to them, that people don't just step over you as if you don't exist, or they can't hear the importance of your words, right? That's the essence of family, people who see you. We talked about this last week also, that the essence of family also is people who understand what you're going through. Now, this connects to the third part that we talked about, the third point that we talked about, and we'll see that in just a second. But know that those are connecting thoughts. The second thing, the first is people who see you. That's the essence of family. The second is people who understand what you are going through. Now, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we don't. When I was going through my substance abuse, my family didn't necessarily, and when I'm talking about family, then immediate, because I had people in my extended family who did, because they too had gone through, or they had children who went through, or spouses or siblings who went through. So I had extended family who understood my substance abuse and my substance use issues, but my immediate family did not. They didn't get it because that just wasn't their groove. It's not what they did. So that takes us to the third part, right? They did not always understand, but they stood by my side and loved me through it. And so that first part of the essence of family is that number one thing is that people see you. That second is that people understand what you're going through. But if by chance they don't, they still stand by your side and loving you while you go through what you're going through. And so those things become very important as we set and establish the tone of conversation about wellness in the family. You with me so far? All right. So we talked about the power of family. I just wanted to recap from last week about the power of family. And remember that this is about talking about building wellness for the entire family, for whatever family is for you. Got me? We good? All right. So the power of family, care, concern, and love, and then the essence of family, right? This is what we're establishing everything on for the next couple of weeks. People that see you. And I'm blessed to have people that see me, right? And when I tell a person, you know what, I see you. I see you. I see you. You are very present in my life. You're in my psychic. You're in my thoughts. You're a concern and empathy and compassion in my heart for you. I feel your pain and I grab hold of what you bring to life, right? What is important to you is important to me. I see you. And then the other part of family is, the essence of family is people who understand what you are going through. And then that third part of the essence is people who stand by you. They stand by your side, not always understanding what you're going through, but hey, you're going through it. I love you. I'm going to get in there and we're going to do this thing. We're going to get in the ring with this thing together, right? So that's the essence of family. So now we talked about and recapped on last week, and we talked about the foundation of what we're talking about, the power of family and the essence of family. I want to talk about something specifically on those terms today, and this is going to take us in our greater conversation. And a one, and a two, and a three. I want to talk about togetherness today. I want to talk about togetherness. I want to talk about those things and what that looks like. How do we shape bringing family together? I don't know. Gonna need you to chime in for this. I'm going to need you to chime in for this, because everybody does not have, or everybody does not approach togetherness or view togetherness the same way. So I just want to throw some things out there to everybody that's viewing to just consider. right? Just consider. Prior to my family, my buddy Lisa Kay was on with her conversation platform, which is Just for Today. So just for today, I want to be able to talk about togetherness, and let's sort of think through what does it mean from a family perspective when we use the term and talk about togetherness. Now, I do want to say this, right? Going back to something you say, Aaron, you keep saying it because I'm really trying to get this through to us. All definitions don't apply to everybody. So what you think togetherness should look like doesn't make my family wrong because we don't see that, right, as togetherness, or those aren't the things that bring us together. Everybody gets to identify for themselves what that looks like for us. The key is we're looking for wellness. We're looking for healing, right? And for some of us, we want to walk those roads of recovery while we are experiencing together. Our families are experiencing the wellness that we deserve, and in many cases, right, experiencing the healing that is needed. So let's break togetherness down and see. Isn't that funny? Let's break togetherness down. Let's dissect this though, for real, and see what we're talking about. So togetherness begins with the quality of being together, right? Many times as families, we get together. I really feel like singing a James Brown song. We all get together any kind of weather, and we do the camel walk. Ow! All right, that was your James Brown moment. Thank you. Brought to you by Aaron Wells. All right, so what is the quality of our time together? Was talking with one of my favorite people today, just in discussing conversation around this. I've seen families get together, and the quality was a lot of bickering and arguing, and I've seen some throwdowns in the family that have destroyed family relationships for a long time. Some never reconciled. Some never put back together. You flowing with me? And so when we talk about togetherness, it's not just us assembling and being in the same place, because we could be in the same place and not have the same spirit, not have the same connectedness, right? And so what is the quality of our being together? So that's what we want to talk about from a family perspective. Let's look at a couple more things, or some more things that add to this conversation. So the quality of being together. In some cases, there is this intimacy, this intimacy that is closeness, right? Where we're sharing some things that we don't necessarily share with other people. We don't have the freedom to, or we don't feel comfortable enough to be able to share with other people. And so in many cases, what is healthy for families is when we're able to have an intimacy in family that creates this closeness in family. Then there is the adjoining thought of affection in families, right? How do we really truly love? As we talked about in the power of families, how do we care? What is our concern? What is our love? How do we display affection? Do we display our affection in such a way that we consider healthy within our families? Is it something that is good and that creates nutrients in my life? I love that word, as you well know, that in my life, right? Does the affection that you show me, is it healthy for me? Not just, it has to be reciprocal, right? The intent might be well, but is your affection healthy for me? And so our togetherness looks at the intimacy that we can share, right? I can have intimate conversations with my sisters because we are. I can share intimate conversations with my sisters because we do have a concern for each other. We do have a care for each other, and it creates this closeness. And we have had times in life, and I shared this last week, where our togetherness was affected by some choices and decisions that we all had. Loss of our parents and the different ways we grieved with that. And our parents left us in a very close proximity. My dad left in February. He died February 2009. My mom died in December. And so it really affected the relationship of myself and my sisters. And we had to rebuild. We had to reboot. We had to figure out who we were as a unit without our parents. And took 4 years, but we came through that thing, and we're closer and tighter than ever before, right? And so there's an intimacy that we share. There's a closeness. There's affection. Dig this. There's fellowship. There's a camaraderie. There's a fellowship and a friendship, right? There's a time together physically. Always a time together spiritually. We are spiritually connected, always concerned, cared, love. But then there's also the fellowship, when our time together, whether we're Zooming, right, pandemic, or FaceTiming, or Duo, or hopefully and prayerfully in July, we'll physically get together and kick. Oh, we're going to kick it. We're going to kick it, right? But it also can create in togetherness of friendship. And this is why our definitions of family don't have to look the same, because many of us have found our family relationships in friendships that extend outside of our biological family. Or you can be as fortunate as I am to have friendships within your biological family, because my sisters have, over a lifetime, they are my friends, and they are some of my best friends are my sisters. I have all sisters biologically. My brothers, I have plenty of them. They're just not my biological brothers. And so friendship is connected to that. And then there's this issue of not being able to be separated, inseparableness. Say it again. Say it slower. Say it with me. Inseparableness. Yes, I did it. So here's the deal with that, right? Being separated is not about physical location when we talk about togetherness, and we'll spend some moments with that. There's this connectedness. I always feel connected to my sisters. I never feel separated from them. I miss them tremendously, but my thoughts of concern and care and love connect, knowing that they see me, knowing that they are willing to go through life journey with me. That it's hard to separate us. It is hard to separate us. It's hard to create a divide. And those things have happened. And what has happened, because we've rebuilt relationship, we've built it closer and tighter. So there's more intimacy, more closeness, more affection, more fellowship, a greater friendship. And so it's hard to separate us. We're inseparable because of the power of family and the essence of family, right? So we're talking about togetherness today, and those things that help bring and keep. Bring and keep. Say it now. Bring and keep. Say it now. So we want to bring ourselves together as family, but we want to keep our togetherness. Another part of that is, or our, as we define the word togetherness as far as families go and our family healing and wellness, a feeling of closeness or affection from being with other people united. And for me, the key word, I like those key words. The key word for me is united, or the bridge is other people united. A feeling of closeness or affection from being with other people united. This is why I tell you that for me, my family is a family of families. There's my biological family, which are Wells and Richards and Coopers and Longs and McCorns and Scotts and Hills. Those are the Johnsons. This is us. This is my biological family, right? Ancestors of, and coming from the DNA of this bloodline, right? So there's that. And then there's my Army family, and there's my family I grew up with in the streets of Philadelphia. And then those are my guys and those sisters that I grew up with. And there's my high school family. Many of us have been together for over 50 years. There's my college family. And there's my California family. There's the places that I've worked. where the people have, and through friendship and this togetherness, have become family members for me. They fit all of those definitions of power and essence of family. And so when we look at togetherness as a feeling of closeness or affection from being with other people, the key word for me is united. That we are united in our hearts, right? We are united. We are united. We are united in intimacy, closeness, affection, fellowship, friendship. And those things keep us inseparable. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not physically apart, but those things that when you pick up that phone and say, I was just thinking about you, there was something that could not, time and distance could not separate how I feel. And time and distance could not stop me from being concerned or caring about you. That's a telephone, right? So back in the day, telephone, this is my time back in the day. So this is why it's important for us, I think, that as we look at the togetherness of family, that we look at that word united. Now, united doesn't mean that we always agree. United doesn't mean that I always see you, but that doesn't mean I always see things the same as you do. You with me? We have the right to agree to disagree. We have the right to see the same thing different ways. You've got the right to like strawberry. I have the right to like vanilla. It's more than okay. It doesn't make yours right or mine wrong. But what we're united in is the fact that, hey, look, I'm going to go pick me up some vanilla. I'm going to pick you up some of your strawberry that you like, right? We're united in this thing. It doesn't mean we're the same. Thank God, right? It doesn't mean that we're always on the same accord. It does mean that we're inseparable because the things that hold us together are a lot stronger and have more power and essence in our lives than the things that could possibly separate us. So as we keep rolling through, we're looking at today the togetherness of family. How do we bring and sustain and keep our family, whatever we define family is? How do we bring and keep family together? So I'm going to do a quick go through. We talked about intimacy, closeness, affection, fellowship, friendship, inseparableness. And then we talked about the feelings of closeness or affection from being with other people, united. That key word is united. United. How do we bring and keep togetherness within the family while we're building healing and recovery? So I'm liking this personally. And so, because I love family and I've been enjoying some things that I want to talk about in a few, just sitting here with two work family members, Dorothy and Amanda, not too long ago. And we just talking work, right? Because that's what we do. But then talking work, but then laughing a lot, right? Just finding reasons to laugh. I need to put that up here too. Just finding reasons to laugh. My grandfather, the late great Ted Richards, my mother's father, used to always say that we take life serious, but we don't take ourselves too serious, and always finding reasons to be able to laugh, as long as we're not bringing hurt to other people, right? At the things we're laughing at. We're not laughing at anyone's pain. We're not laughing at anyone's dismay. We're not laughing at the situations of darkness that people can find themselves in. But what we're doing is bringing laughter to that darkness. We're bringing laughter to that discouragement, right? We're bringing laughter to that depression. We're bringing laughter to those things because it really does help us as we look at being together. So let's change. We're going to take a shift. We want to talk about togetherness in this light, right? If we're going to be together in our wellness as a family, if we're going to be together in our healing as a family, if we're going to be together in our wellness as a family, it would help if we found the mutual connectors, right? If we found those things that mutually connect us versus those things that are so different about us. We have a tendency in society to focus on the things that are different about us, because then we can create certain things, right? I can always find a reason to be better than you. which is corny to me. I can always find a right. If I'm always looking at what's wrong with you, I can always make up what's right with me and find a way. That's no, it's corny. It is so healthy to find not starting with the things that are different about us. That's my hands going separated, right? Separated. We want the things that bring us together. We want to focus on the things that connect us. It's not about the importance of our ethnicity is for me, right, to live out who I am. And my ethnicity might be different than yours. You might not be a Black man whose family originates from Somerset, Bermuda, as my one side of my family does. That might not be your story. But I don't have to use that to separate us because you might be a white man or woman whose family originates from Ireland, right? There's a commonality. You come from someplace, I come from someplace. I'm here right now, you're here right now, right? I see you, you see me. So we can start with the commonality and figure out what connects us. Though my family may be from Bermuda, Somerset, Bermuda, and yours from Dublin, Ireland, we might both be Philly fans. You should be. So this connects us now instead of us looking at our differences. And we have a tendency to do that in families. We have a tendency in families, right, sometimes to look at those things that are so different than us instead of connecting to those things that are mutual and those things that are the connectors or that bring us together, right? Because we want to bring us together and keep us together. So in order to do that, I believe that we need to start looking at some of the mutual connections that create togetherness in family. So if you're with me, nod your head. Not that I can see it, but I can see it. So if you're with me, nod your head. The mutual connections of family. What are the mutual connectors for your? Notice those are capital, right? Capitalized. Yours, not mine. Yours. But there are some that are probably common, some that many of us in family utilize to be able to bring family, unite, bring family together and keep family together. We're talking about togetherness and family health today, family wellness. Let's keep it flowing. So what are some of the mutual connectors? Well, the survey says, I asked a lot of people. I asked several people. I asked a few people. All right, I asked a couple people, right? But I did talk with some folks, and we chopped up family because what I wanted to be able to do is have conversation and put some realistic connectors up here, not just for me, right? Just some things that other people talked about, some that are consistent with who family is for me, some that you may find, and you may even have some that's not up here, right? So if you do, in the chat in and put some of the connectors for family. What are some of the mutual connections? What are some of the connectors that bring our families together and unite us in wellness? Well, in talking with everyone, it seems that consistently children. It seems consistently that children and next generations are a connector, right? One of the questions when you haven't talked to somebody in a while and they have a child, what do you ask? So how are the kids? How are the children? I can tell you personally that my grandchildren, my oldest daughter's children, have created a connector between my family and my daughter's in-laws, her family, her husband and their family. They've known each other for a long time, not putting their stuff out. They've known each other for a long time, since high school. And the children, my grandchildren, my wonderful 3 grandchildren, their presence on the planet have brought families closer together, right? And have served as a connector with all the things that may be different about us and our approaches to life and how we order life and those things that we like and dislike. These children have created a connector. I have seen that consistently in family for a long time. If we will allow children and next generations to bridge generational gaps, and oftentimes, right, those things that separate us now have to be put on the back burner because before us are these precious beings that did not ask to be in the world, but are now incorporated into our family, the future of families. Now, dig this. This is not just biological. work with a lot of children who are in foster care, work with adults who have been through foster care and have had to recreate or have had to re-identify what family was for them, and may not have the biological connections, but have still in community. I've seen that in so many different segments of our community, the gathering and the uniting of people who have similar experience, and they've created family units out of this, right? I'm thinking specifically of the people that I love who are in the trans community, who have created just this family of friendship and this family of commonality within themselves, to create this, and within this community, just loving sets of families, right? And so with that said, children, and not necessarily offspring, but those younger, though, what about those younger generations that come into a job? Here at PRN, we have a whole influx of new employees. A lot of them are younger employees just coming into career fields, and they have reinvigorated, right? They have infused PRN with so much energy with their new ideas and their new energy and their go-gettedness. Next generations have a way of connecting families where we're now not focused on deficits, focused on differences, but we're focused because of this energy of the newness that comes. So let's keep talking about it. And if you're a grandparent, I think you know what I'm talking about. On the flip side of that, another connector for families that can actually create wellness and healing are tragedies, hardships, and traumas. They really can. My family knows that oh so well, that there are times when it is the tragedy that is presented for the family, and many times for splintered families, it's the tragedies that bring us together. Hey, did you hear about Uncle so-and-so? Hey, did you hear about cousin so-and-so? And then all of a sudden we're coming together now, right? We're coming together as a family unit, because it's the tragedy that brings all of our strengths back to the table. And sometimes through the disagreements that we may or may not have had, or those things that would not have been connectors, these tragedies in family bring us back together, these hardships, right? Because we go back to the power of family that we have. We go back to the power of family, right? Where we have concern and we have care and we have love. And so because of that, we're able to now come in and we bring that together, do we not? To address the hardship. We bring that together to address the need. We bring that together. It's those tragedies, it's those hardships. And sometimes, family, it's the traumas. I'm with you. Give me 1 second. I've got people who are actually coming on to us here through. So we got people checking in. We got people chatting. It's the tragedies and the hardships and the traumas that can serve as a connector, a rallying point, a gathering point. When my mother and father left us, in my family, it became a separator, because for me and my siblings, my sisters, that was up to that point in time the most traumatic thing, hardship, tragedies that we went through was the loss of my mom and my dad. And we had lost other beloved family members, but my mom and my dad, right? So a couple of years ago, my oldest sister, Ted, she left us after a long illness and a fight. And she fought the good fight, man. She hung in there for a very long time, 18 years, as a matter of fact. When Ted left us, it was a galvanizer. It brought family and peripheral family, right? It brought the extended family. And we've been so together since that period of time, linked up in arms. We talk more and so forth. And so my point is, it is as a connector, sometimes the tragedies, the hardships, and the traumas that serve as connectors. Here's another things that can serve as connectors. And it might seem like a small thing. And we're just going through this list that people were giving me. I've been asking what are the things that connect you and bring your family together? Agenda-less gatherings. You know what that is? You know what it is. An agenda-less gathering is this. All right, your sister comes by and y'all chopping it up. Y'all on the phone, right? You're on the phone. And all of a sudden now you done called up now your friend, your cousin coming over with her kids. And before you know it, people just dropping by. They didn't even notice somebody else was over. They just was driving down the street. Oh, Larry's over there. Let's stop by. And before you know, there's 12 people in the house. There was no agenda. There was no let's get together because there's a tragedy. There was no let's get together because it's a graduation. There was no agenda. It just the universe brought them together, brought everybody together. And guess what? Those are some of the best gatherings. Those are some of the greatest times of being together and united because nobody has an agenda. We just happen to be here. And listen, when I get tired of y'all, I'm out, right? And so many times it's the agendaless gatherings. It happens at work, doesn't it? You're outside, somebody's on a vape break. They're not smoking like they used to be, but they're on a vape break. And so I'm out there eating my apple or orange, and then somebody's just coming to get some air just because they've been at the computer all day. And now you've got some people who are just spending 15 minutes together, just chopping it up about nothing. Ain't talking about nobody, putting nobody down. Nobody's just grumbling about anything, just chopping it up. It could be about children or the latest thing you saw on television or a movie or whose car is that? You're leaking oil, whatever the case is, no agenda. What a connector. We do it with sports all the time. The water fountain conversations, those parking lot conversations. We have to at times look for agendaless gatherings for the sake of just saying we're taking a few minutes to be together. You with me? One of the greatest things that brings people together, food. Oh my word. And it does not have to be an agenda. Sometimes somebody's just cooking up something. This is how we do. This is how me and mine do. And you call them up. Hey, look, I got such and such on. Come on over. Look, matter of fact, come get it. You ain't got to stay. I'll wrap it up for you. So you're over and we'll take a few minutes while I'm bringing some food to you in the driveway, the parking lot. And we're just chopping it up, or we'll meet for some wings, or it's food and those meals, those times of uniting, those times of coming together. And the best times, again, watch this, it can be the agendaless meeting, or if we got some serious stuff to talk about, why not pop some food out there too? If this is some serious things that we have to, why not break it over a meal? Why not create the atmosphere that even in tough conversations or tough gatherings, right? Or when we have to come together for something so serious, this might not go well, let's break some bread. Let's try to diffuse this by allowing us to break some bread to show the spirit of camaraderie and affection and fellowship. Food brings people together like nothing else. Money. Food brings us together. And I'm just a firm believer, not just because I love food and I have no apologies about that. It is a piece of tape. It's a glue that can bring people together and keep us together, right? All right, let's see. Who's hanging out with me? Julie, how you doing? Darlene, how you doing? Julie says, yes, funerals are about the only time my extended family gathers in peace and really bond with one another, right, Julie? So I'm with you. There are just these things in life that do bring us together, right? And then it's about what we do with them. I know we often talk about getting together so the next time we get together is not over a death. And I used to process that and see that as a negative, right? Man, the only time we get together. But you know what? In real life, our families, whatever those families are, right? Whatever your definition is, can get so busy with life. Sometimes the fact that we do take the time to gather and to honor a life and use that time to check up on others, it's not a bad thing. The loss is, right? It tears us up. But sometimes that's the only time, right? You got a cousin in California. You can't see each other all the time. It's just not realistic. But if that period of time is going to bring us together, then that thought is not to look at what's wrong with this, but to be able to appreciate the fact that we did have this time together. And may not see each other for a while, but it brings us together. Needs. Needs are a galvanizer. Needs are a connector, right? That when there's a need, now remember, we talked about the power of family as caring, concern, and love. Look, if you care about someone and you're concerned about them and you love them, if there's a need, you're going to want to try to help address it. Even if you can't physically or financially, right, help change whatever the atmosphere is or change the situation, you can show the empathy and say, look, I feel for you. I'm here with you. I've been there before. How can I support? I might not be able to give you dollars and cents, and I might not let you be able to stay over the crib, but what I can do, let me hear you. Let me try to help you process some of this. Needs bring us together. And that's one of those things, right? That if we do this right and bring ourselves, not just what we can give to the need, if we can bring ourselves to help with the need, because sometimes the need is just a hug. Sometimes the need is just somebody to listen. We have an opportunity to bring us a little closer together because people have a tendency to remember you were there when I needed you. And so now I want to be there. I want to be there when you need me. And look, watch this. And when I need you, when you need me, and when I need you, it becomes reciprocal. So needs are a great connector, which takes us to the relationships. Our relationships are a great connector. Our relationships are and can be a great connector. And watch, I don't have to be all things to everybody. So the connection is not to always fix stuff. Sometimes it's just, listen, if you're the cook in the family, if you're the encourager in the family, if you're the daddy or mommy Warbucks in the family, you always, putting a couple of dollars to it, whatever your relationship is, whatever role you play in the family, do that and serve as a connector. Do your part, right? I wish we could all get together. All right, well, you be the one to make the phone calls. You be the one that invite, right? They may turn you down, they may not come, but you build on the relationships that you have within family, and always remember, whatever family is for you, you be that person that builds relationships, both from a holistic standpoint, which is the family as a whole, or just within. I have some cousins. I love my cousins. Got a lot of them. When I say a lot, I'm talking about a lot. Pretty large family. There's certain cousins I'm closer to. My cousin Brian is one of the best friends I've ever had in my life. His mom and my mom, both gone now, but were first cousins, and they were best friends. My cousin Brian and I are very close, so I'm close to his children, right? So my point that I'm making is that within the family relationships, I have certain relationships that I'm closer to. So when there's a death in the family, let's say, for instance, right, I'll check on him first. I'll take I'll gauge the temperature of the family with him because of the relationship we have. If I want to convey information in the family, I'll probably go to him or my sister, just as an example, because of the relationships. Those relationships, if we build upon them, now I can build on the relationships he has within family, and then they can build on the relationships they have within family, and all of a sudden we're all connected. Never minimize the power of relationships, and relationships are something to be invested in and to build up, especially within family. Another thought about connectedness, and we'll be done in a few, but I'm actually digging this because I love family, and I love to see people build family, and I love to see people some really put the work in with family. I hear you, Darlene. Thank you so much for the topic. We'll be doing this all through April, talking about family and family wellness. And PRN does bring people together. It really, truly does. We are, as I said, we're a family of families. We're a family of families. I'm going to be hanging out in community with some of our family today. Can't get to us, I'm going to go to them. And our staff has been doing that for forever since pandemic. So thank you for that, Darlene. Another connector, our shared interests. I love this one, our shared interests. So I'm gonna tell you a story real quickly. My oldest daughter's name is Erin. She owns her own business. I love that. She's an entrepreneur. She does natural hair. She's my stylist now. So Erin has this love of music. And she got that love of music from our family. I have a love of music. My sister Ted, who I told you transitioned and left us a couple of years ago, Teddy had a love of music. And so recently, Erin and her husband they have a turntable. And so Erin in her 30s is really digging into 33s. Some of y'all don't know what those are. LPs, albums. But it's not just albums, it's what you would deem as old school music. But it's not old school to me because it was my music, right? R&B from the 60s and 70s and 80s, and even a little bit from the late 50s. And this is the music that when Erin was small, she heard around my mom's house. She heard growing up in Philadelphia and Allentown. That's the music she heard on Daddy's CD player and his iPod in his cars when we used to travel and take our trips. So this is the music that she grew up on. These are the songs that she heard Daddy singing really, really bad. They told me yesterday that every song I sound like Aaron Neville. No matter what, no matter OJ's Temptations, they say it all sounds the same. But anyway, another story. So my daughter recently has really started digging into her and her husband having some of that old good stuff that I listen to, and it has blessed my heart. So yesterday, let me go back. Last week, I began shopping for them that when I'm out and about, I'm buying them albums because I am a musicologist, baby. You don't test me, don't play with me. And so I started buying them albums. And yesterday, I had the privilege of going down and to a store, one of the stores that I really like that has some music here in Charlotte, and I bought them a whole bunch of albums. Really overspent, but they got some Earth, Wind, and Fire, some Temptations. Oh man, they got some Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, some Teddy P. I did a thing for them, right? And so she came by the house last night, my daughter, and we had this opportunity to just have this love fest with these albums, with music. I mean, we really dug in, turned it on. We was jamming up in there with some good old stuff. It was a shared interest that brought us together. Oftentimes, y'all, we don't look at the interests we share. We spend so much time looking at the things I don't like that, what they do. But what can we find in common? Our shared interests, our shared roles. There was a time when my daughter was not a mom. She's a parent now. So there's a role that we share. I'm a parent, she's a parent. The responsibilities of life, the fact that she's a business owner. We have these responsibilities now, and it creates these shared interests. This is a connector. It changes the conversation. We don't have to talk about different stuff where I'm not interested. I want to talk about this. She wants to talk about that. We can sit and talk about these things that we are both interested in, that we both have a passion and love for, and these things bring us together. So, y'all with me so far? If you're sharing this, if you're on, please share this. Go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, like our Facebook page, share it. We're talking about families, and we're talking about the wellness and healing of families. Got a couple more things, and we're going to put the plane in the hangar. But here's another connector. And I got another story. Here's another connector, social media. Social media can be a connector for our togetherness and our unity in our families. And we can use this to experience wellness. But there's a caveat here with social media. Sometimes being on brings us together. Sometimes turning that crap off can bring us together, right? Sometimes being on, right? Hey, did you see this on Facebook? Oh, man. So we're watching this and we're talking. And did you see such and such? So now that's a connect. And everybody's sitting around the couch looking, and we're all looking at this. It brought us together. And it creates another conversation, which creates another conversation. But a few years ago, there was a Christmas celebration in Philly at my sister's house. My sister Ted, who I told you she left us a couple of years ago. And my Aunt Liz was there, she passed when she was 92, I believe. So there was my generation, the generation under us, right? And they were all at my sister's for a Christmas. It was Christmas celebration, Christmas dinner. I wasn't there, but this is what was conveyed. And so I remember asking my sister, I said, hey, so it was after Christmas, a couple of days. How was the Christmas dinner? Did y'all have a good time? And they're like, oh, we had a great time. It was absolutely great. I remember asking my Aunt Liz, who they went and picked up and they brought over. We always made sure Aunt Liz was included. She was our matriarch of the family. I called Aunt Liz. I said, "Hey, Aunt Liz, how was Christmas dinner over Teddy's?" She said, "It sucked." That was her words, not mine. She said it was terrible. I said, "Why, Aunt Liz?" She said, "Because nobody was talking. Everybody's head was down, playing on those damn phones," is what she said. Now, it was the same event seen through two sets of eyes. The younger folks said it was great. It was wonderful. The person who didn't communicate that way with social media, who was used to people talking, chopping it up, having dinner together, sharing laughs, and saw it totally different. Social media can be such a connector, but it can also be a divider. We need for whatever we have to be a connector for us and our families, right? And if it's dividing us, we got to think about, do we really need to have this? So social media, the phones, the different platforms, they can be such an asset, but sometimes being off is a better asset. So when we see social media as through the eyes of connecting families, sometimes social media can be a connector that brings us together when it's on, but sometimes it's a greater connector when it's off. All right. Listen, we're flowing. We're about to put the plane in the hangar. Got one more thing I want to talk about with us, and that is this. Next to food, that's my personal, one man, one vote. The greatest connector in family and for family wellness is support. For us to be able to support the dreams, the goals, and the aspirations of those that we say that we love, those that we say that we're concerned about, those that we say we care about, those that we say we love, those that we say we see. When we have sayings like family above everything, it's not just about sharing a lineage. It's about support. Will I support your dreams, even if I think those dreams are frivolous to me? If I think those dreams don't make sense to me, if there's something I wouldn't do, will I support your dreams? One of the struggles that I had with my dad, and I'm, being always trying to be transparent. And remember, my dad was my guy when he passed, but we had a lot of struggles most of my life. He was my first superhero. He was my guy. And we just had a hard time connecting until I was a lot older. I just never felt supported in my dreams because he was the type of guy that he saw life through his eyes, and that's the way it should be. And I didn't see it that way. I wanted something different. I didn't want to be stuck in certain labels and categories and do certain things because that's what I'm supposed to do. And my mom, on the other hand, who I've told everybody is the best friend I've ever had, my mom supported everything, even if it didn't make sense to her. If she thought I might fail, she used to always say, "Nothing comes to a dreamer but a dream. Man, go make it happen." She was that person that said, whatever it is, don't take this to your grave with "I could have" and "I should have." Go do the damn thing. My mother also taught me that if you try something you've never done before and it doesn't come out the way you want, that's not a failure. The failure is never trying. One of the great connectors in our families can be the support of someone else's dreams, someone else's aspirations, to be able to make myself available for you to build the quality of life that you want. My daughter she always wanted to be a cosmetologist. There were things I thought she should do because she was a straight A and B student. I'm like, just hair? She is so daggone good at what she does. She's my stylist now. She gets me a little twist and stuff. This is what she does, and she loves it. Has always loved it. Has always wanted to do it. So this is what she does. You with me? I'm sorry, somebody's printing up here, and so we got to hang with that for a minute. But that's where we are, because it's about supporting the dreams. And once you know you have the support, you go for it. You go for it without any reservation. You go for it without any hindrance. you go for it, because you know that if by chance you fall on the road to it, you've got the support to get you back up. You have the encouragement to get you back up. When we support the goals of others, my niece, she's always wanted, she can cook. This girl can cook. She can make meatloaf out of paper. I'm telling you, she can do it. And she has this great support now behind her. And she's gone through so much in life, but she found her niche. She's tried a lot of things, but at a young age, and she's in her 20s, she found her niche. And now she in Philly has started this business that is the rave. I'm telling you, she can take a leaf and make a cake. This girl can cook, right? And so what she needed was somebody to hear her dreams, to support her goals, and to feed her aspirations. My youngest daughter with her candle business the same way. What a connector for our families to be able to, and this is one of the reasons I love PRM, this family of families, because we support the dreams and the goals and the aspirations, not just of each other and staff, but those who come into our doors, those who come into our service. So for family today, it was all about what brings us together. We talked about a few things, and basically we talked about the quality of being together, not just being together, but the quality. How do we shape that? How do we get the best out of that? And I have found more than anything else that being together, we listen to each other, we see each other, we support each other, right? Power of love, the power of family rather, is love, concern, and care. Let's walk in that essence of family, where we get to see each other. I see you for real. I understand what you're going through. And on the days I don't, I stand by your side because I want to be there with you while you figure it out. Right? And so we build on that, and we're looking for togetherness. How do we stay well and build wellness together? Well, that's it for today, gang. I think that's enough. Try with all your might this weekend to find some people you can be together with. Even if you're not physically together, be together in spirit, be together in one heart, support one another, support each other's dreams. There's nothing dumb out there, right? You might not agree with it, but at least listen, hear, and see how you can support somebody achieving what's in their heart to do, right? As long as it's not hurting them or somebody else. Real quickly, I want to talk about our warm line, because I'm past my time. Our warm line is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, free confidential line. Warm ears, people who care about you, have concern, will love on you. Our peer support specialists are ready to hear you and hear about your life. We do not give advice. We're not a crisis line. We're just people who have lived experience. And if you call and talk with us, we're there to help support you. We're there to not give you advice, not solve crisis, but to settle down in conversation with you to find those answers, help you find those answers that are within you. 833-390-7728, 833-390-7728. That is our warm line number. If you're trying to connect with peer support or want to connect with staff, you want to holler at me about something here, call our front desk. Kim Porter, that's my bud. She's there at the front desk Monday through Fridays, 8 to 4:30, 704-390-7709, 704-390-7709. Call Kim. And if you call on the weekend, voicemail message, she will scoop it up Monday morning and make sure it gets into the right hands. All right, my family. That's what we've been talking about. Family wellness, family healing, talking about building wellness for the entire family, for whatever family is for you. I love you. This is Aaron Wells. Have an absolutely magnificently great weekend, and love you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.